Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today we're going to be talking about the next moves for the LA Clippers. As you might know, they have Paul George and James Harden both up for contracts, and they just signed Kawhi Leonard to a max contract extension. And let's just say he'll be really old, making a ton of money when that contract extension is up. Teams that could steal Paul George, the 76ers, have the cap space. They would be able to pay just as much as the Clippers, I believe. Less years, but just as much. And I mean, that would be incredible if he teamed up with Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. My last video was about that. But I was more talking about the Sixers in this video, so we're going to talk about the Clippers this time. They don't really have any of their picks. They have more than the Suns, but less than just about any other team in the NBA. And the issue with the Clippers is they have no choice but to try to win, and they don't really have the best pieces to win. They have Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Paul George as their big three. James Harden is obviously past his prime at this point, and Kawhi and Paul George, I mean, it was better this season, but Kawhi still missed most of the playoffs, and it's starting to be a pattern. I don't think they should have given Kawhi the contract. I think it would have been better for the Clippers to let him walk, which would be awful for the Clippers. They could not let that happen. But instead, in 5 years, they're going to be paying him a max contract, and I mean, he's good right now, but in 5 years, he won't be good. He's already struggling with injuries. It's just going to get worse. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. If you prove me wrong, that would be awesome. But that's just kind of how it is right now. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure James Harden's going back. No other team other than really the Sixers, no other competing team has the money to get him. And obviously the Sixers aren't going to want him. So, if the Clippers do bring back their big three, then they don't have enough of a bench, and they have to make a move this offseason because they ran it back for like 3-4 years and it just isn't working. So I think they're gonna have to trade Zubac and try to get someone else, even though Zubac is a good player. Terrence Mann, also a really good role player, but he makes $11 million, and I feel like they could pull someone just a little better. And I don't know if I have answers for the Clippers, to be honest. They are a team that could get you the 4 or 5 seed every year and then lose in the first round every year. But they're also a team that, if they're fully healthy, they can go on a conference finals run. I just don't really see them winning a championship. And I don't know what the next move is. But to me, here's what I want them to do. They're not going to do it, but here's just a fun idea I have. They trade one of their big three to Miami for Tyler Hero, Scary Terry Rozier, and the Heat might have one pick, and then probably Jaime Jaquez in this deal. Huge risk for the Heat, but look, Tyler Hero was great. You can't tell me otherwise. In the play-in, he was good. In the playoffs, he was pretty good. And no, is he like a superstar? He's definitely not. But if they could get off the Kawhi contract, trade James Harden or something, and get back these good young players, it would be a win. But they're going to do this for all three of their guys, except for maybe Paul George. Paul George is the only one I say they keep around, because I feel like he hasn't been injured as much. Kawhi's always injured, and Harden is James Harden. So, if they're going to keep one of the three, it should be Paul George, in my opinion. Other people have different opinions, and that's fine. But then the next one, I want to send someone to Charlotte to team up with LaMelo and Brandon Miller. This one is highly unlikely. Are the Hornets ready to compete? Probably not. Do their owners think that? Maybe. And if they were able to grab one of these guys, the Hornets have picks, they have players, and it could be interesting. So I propose the Clippers rebuild, but don't rebuild bad. I want them to still be good enough to make the play-in, maybe even get to like a 6 seed, but still trade their guys so that they have draft picks, young players. And then by the time it's 2030, they have their picks back, they can tank. This could make things so good for the Clippers. It would be hard for them to pull off, but the other teams I have that could be interested are the Pelicans, Hawks, Jazz, and the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers have what it takes to pull it off. But my other thing is, what if the Sixers got Kawhi Leonard? It would be tough. They would have to give up all their picks remaining, which they don't have a ton. Actually, now that I think about it, they just couldn't do it. They don't have a super good young player other than Tyrese Maxey. They have good young players, but none of their guys would really fit in a Kawhi Leonard trade. Yeah. But the other option, the final option, that would be far-fetched but interesting. What if he got traded to Golden State for Brandon Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, and 1 first-round pick? They might have to add someone else to make the salaries match, but would that not be interesting? Curry, Kawhi, Draymond, Clay, and anyone else they could find. Maybe they throw Chris Paul to the Clippers in that one too, but I don't know. The Clippers have moves to make. If they don't make them, then they're just going to be this team they started off conference finals run, and then every year they keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And maybe that's fine. Maybe they're just a play-in team until they get their picks back, and then they tank. But as a fan, that's miserable. I would rather them... I don't want them to go all in. I don't want them to trade more picks. I want them to just retool, but major retool, so that it's almost a rebuild. Anyways, this is a longer video, but thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos. It's officially Season 5 playoffs, and see you next time on No Bias Hoops.